Welcome to Backstage with Richard Ridge. My guest is one of the entertainment industry's most beloved performers. He is the veteran of 10 Broadway shows, including Ragtime, Madame La Mancha, Kiss Me Kate, and Shuffle Along, to name just a few. He has won 2 Tony Awards and was recently inducted into the Theater Hall of Fame. He is also the chairman of the board for the Entertainment Community Fund and is about to make his Diamond Series debut at Feinstein's 54 Below, which has just received a special Tony honor. He will be there from June 20th through the 25th. Please welcome my friend, Brian Stokes Mitchell.
Hey, Richard, how are you?
You look sensational, my friend.
Well, it's the color yellow. It does that for everybody. You put on some color yellow, it brightens the room. And by the way, I now have a new title, Doctor. I got a doctorate, an honorary doctorate from the Boston Conservatory at Berkeley. So now I'll be Dr. Stokes as well.
Oh, I love this. So I'm going to say, please welcome my guest and my friend, Dr. Brian Stokes Mitchell.
Thank you, and I'll speak with a fake accent the whole entire interview. How does that sound? Because it makes me sound more intellectual.
Not only did he play one on TV, but now he is one.
There you go. See, you've been waiting to use that line, haven't you?
And I might as well use it on you. That's great. First of all, how are you, my friend, and where are you?
I am great. I'm here in New York City. This is my apartment here in New York City. Life is good. The whole family has been through this most recent iteration of COVID. So, the one thing that's nice about that is it's very freeing, actually, because, at least for a while, you have an immunity. So you don't have to worry. So you don't have to worry about, should I wear a mask? Or should I be on the subway? Or should I go out and eat with friends? Or should I, it's great. It's like, it frees your mind. And actually, because as you know, I had COVID when it first happened in March of 2020. And I remember thinking the same thing. Oh, this is great. I'm so free. I don't have to wear a mask. I can get back to normal life. Well, little did I know, and even though I didn't have to wear a mask at that point, that everybody would be glaring at me on the streets of New York for not wearing a mask. So, but now it seems like we are finally coming back and Broadway is coming back. I just did my first 4 orchestral concerts in 2 years. And I was really happy to be back with those because when I go to an orchestral concert, what I'm looking at is jobs. That's all of those people, literally hundreds of people that are out of jobs and have been out of jobs for the last two years are now working again, making music again. And there's nothing like standing on a stage and kind of being the conduit between the audience and the orchestra and hearing all this incredible music from this orchestra and feeling it pass through my body. And then I get to add my voice to it and then it goes into the audience. It really, really has been exciting. So life is good.
So what was it like that first performance? Huge orchestra on stage, a full house, and they say, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Brian Stokes Mitchell. Like, what went through you when you walked out that first time and saw all those people?
Happiness, gratitude. Those are the 2 main things. Joy. The audience was so happy to be there. They were happy to be there because they also realized we've all been going through this together. Even though we feel like we're going through this or have been going through this terrible, awful time by ourselves and going through these terrible, awful problems that seem to be unique in each individual's way, but also compounded by this particular thing. We are still all going through this together. And I think that's one of the things about when we gather in a theater or a concert hall, we kind of realize, oh, everybody else is feeling the same way that I am. And they're just as happy as I am to be there, be here and to be out again and to feel free again. And probably a number of that audience, I know some of those audience didn't have to be masked, if they had COVID and could show the proof and everything as well. So it was really, really joyous to be there and making music and knowing all my friends are working once again.
But I remember how much joy and comfort you brought to millions of people because you sang The Impossible Dream outside of one of your beautiful windows at your apartment, and you used your voice and your art to help heal. And I know it seems like ages ago, but I just want to tell you once again, thank you for what you gave to so many people around the world who could watch you on, Zoom or StreamYard or just on the internet, watching you help heal them or to help them find comfort when we were all suffering so much.
Oh, you are so welcome, and I was grateful because I got just as much back from everybody as I did singing out the window. It was actually inspired by, remember, in Italy, they were like one of the first countries to lock down, and I remember watching on the news all these Italians locked in their houses at night. They spontaneously just opened their windows and started singing out their windows, and then they would do duets with their neighbors and people because the homes are closer together there, and they're singing together, and that was kind of the initial inspiration for doing it. Although I was never planning on doing it, it was a totally spontaneous decision when I started singing out the window. But what I realized, the neighbor very emotionally reminded me actually that it started not feeling right to me to sing out the window because I was doing it as gratitude to the essential workers. And then more and more people, literally hundreds and hundreds, there may be 1,000 or more people gathered on the street eventually, because this thing went viral, ironically. With all the news stations, I was getting calls from Japan and Australia and people that had seen me on the news everywhere. And so it became a big gathering, but I started feeling like they were there to hear me and not to clap for the essential workers. And I thought, I don't think I want to do this anymore because I want people to be reminded why we started this in the first place. And a neighbor stopped me outside of the street and said, this is the one time, thank you. He was really grateful. And he said, this is the one time in my day I feel joy. And I went, oh, I forgot about that. That's why people are gathering, because it's that connection. Like I was saying, like I feel when I sit in the audience with an orchestra, or at the theater as well, the connection with other people that happens. And just to hear somebody performing in that one time and space just for them, and hearing something live and hearing something that is joyous as well. It takes us out of our own worlds for sometimes just a brief moment. And sometimes that's all we need.
Yeah. Well, you brought so much joy, like you said, to everybody around the world. So I want to thank you for that. Now,
thank you.
You're about to make your Diamond Series debut at 54 Below. I know you performed before, but how excited are you? You're a Diamond now.
I'm a Diamond. You call me Dr. Diamond. That would be my fine name. Yeah, it's really great. I love Feinstein's 54 Below. It's one of my favorite clubs in town, maybe my favorite to perform, because it's beautiful. They use theatrical people to design it. So when you go inside, it's just gorgeous to look at. The lighting is beautiful. The sound is terrific. And the food is really good. And a lot of times you go to these kind of clubs and it's like, the food was okay. The food is, I just go there for the food. And one of my delights when I go to see other friends there, it's like, oh, I get to eat now. So, because a lot of times I don't get to eat when I'm performing because I don't like to eat a lot of food when I do. But I just love that club. It's really going to be fantastic. I love it because it's intimate, and I like to perform like I'm in my own living room anyway. And that does feel almost like my living room. It's much bigger than this is, but it still feels very, very intimate and small. And it's one of the things I like about being an audience member there as well. Is you literally feel like you're sitting at somebody's feet. It's this wonderful kind of connection that you have that it's harder to get in a stadium or in the Hollywood Bowl or at a large venue like that, but really easy at a place like this. And then it's so happy. Here's the other thing too, Richard, that I'm really been focused on. And you know who made me think this? That neighbor that I was talking to. Because one of the things that I realized is, I've always been very philosophical, and I've always been fascinated by the nature of consciousness and everything. And one of the things that I've been meditating on a lot, as probably many people have, is like, why are we here? What's this all about? Why am I here particularly? Why am I here in this world at this particular time as well? Because you could think this is a terrible time to be in the planet. You know what? I tend to think we're each and every one of us here because we have something to do. We have some gift to bring the world. Each of us has a different gift as well. Everybody, I believe, has a great gift that they can bring the world. And it's no accident that you're here right now in this terrible time for politics, in world politics, in the health of the world, in the health of the planet, all of these things. We all have something that we can contribute. And I don't feel we should, each one of us, feel like a lot of doom and destruction crashing down on us because we can't save the planet. No, we cannot individually save the planet, but we can as a group of people with all these disparate talents and skills save the planet. And well, we're not even going to save the planet. The planet's going to be fine without human beings. What we're trying to do is save human beings, really, and life on this planet. And so we each have different roles we play, just as Shakespeare said. And I think one of my roles, it appears to be, is to bring joy to people. So I'm especially conscious now when I do a concert. I did it at Damrush Park last year when COVID ended. Remember that last spring? My role then, I thought, was let me bring everybody out of this slump that we've been in, this terrible time, and give them some joy. And I feel that a lot of my colleagues are in the same boat, performing with the orchestras and other groups that I've been with. Everybody's trying to lift everyone. And music, art, has this incredibly wonderful, interesting, unique way of doing that, of lifting people's energy. So what I want people to feel when they leave Feinstein's 54 Below, I want them to feel happier than they were when they walked in. I honestly, I like to use the word levitate. I want them to feel levitated when they're walking out, like they're floating on air, and that they feel enabled and joyful and ready to go back at the world again. And that's what music has, this wonderful, incredible power and ability. And art has this incredible power and ability to do, is to lift us and change our moods. I'm also fascinated. That was a very short question for a very long answer, wasn't it? But I'm also fascinated by our art's ability to transform individuals, transform us in one epiphanal moment. You can go into a theater and see a show and walk out of that theater an entirely different person because of what you experienced. Or you hear a beautiful piece of music, or you're in an art museum and you see an incredible piece of art, a pietà, or something else. It could be something abstract, whatever it is that touches you. But art has the ability to change people for the better. And I don't know many things that do that, except for terrible things like war and famine. But art is one of the few things that I can think of that has this ability to shift people's consciousness in one moment for the better, and make them more open, more empathetic, more understanding, less alone. And that's the magic, I think, of art, and especially the theater, when you're experiencing the same thing in front of you, a performer, a Broadway show, a concert with a group of people. You're experiencing this together, but still separate, but to hear or watch something and have something touch you deeply that you thought, oh, that's the only thing I've ever felt in my whole life. And then you look over to your left and the person to the left of you is crying or laughing or whatever, having the same emotion you are. And that's what brings us together. And that's what I think is so powerful about the theater, and why it's so important now. Art is especially important in times of struggle and crisis like we're all going through right now, to just kind of connect us and remind us, hey, don't forget, we're all human beings here. We're all going through this together. We're all here to learn. We're all just trying to all figure this out. So I think it's wonderful that I get to be kind of a part of that. Somebody that allows that to happen by the songs that I sing, by the tone of voice that I use, by the musicians that I choose. And I have the fantastic Ted Firth, of course.
Let's talk about Ted Firth. I mean,
playing with me. Yes.
That has been your, your right-hand man and your musical director and your collaborator. I mean, Ted is one of the best. I mean, What's it like working with Ted Firth and your combo you're going to have with you for these nights?
Yes, Ted. These are all friends of mine, except the
Yeah.
bass. I have a bass player that is somebody that I've been wanting to work with because I have a female bass player. What I've been wanting to do is also bring in female energy on the stage too, because music industry is so male oriented often, and what I wanted to do is really make the my group diverse as well. So I have just fantastic players. Her name is Jordan Davis, is on bass, and Bob Magnuson, who's a woodwind player that plays every woodwind but bassoon. But unfortunately, I don't have any bassoon in this show. So, and amazingly, he's just a great guy. And Mark McLean on drums, an amazing drummer, and of course Ted Firth. Not only are they great musicians, I really wanted to choose great human beings, people that I love working with, that can share that same spirit. It's really about um, uh, kind of letting a certain spirit come through you, and I think that's what happens when you have that 10,000 hours that Malcolm Gladwell talks about, the whatever it is that people choose to do. And get me back on Ted Firth. I'm just going off on a little tangent now, but I feel like the universe, once you've had 10,000 hours, at a certain point it kind of dings you on the head with the magic wand and said, all right, she is worthy, he is worthy, they are worthy, because the universe sees that you've been working and working and working at this, and there's a special spirit that wants to come through somebody on the planet, and it's looking for somebody like that person with those 10,000 hours that now has the experience to communicate this spirit through singing or dancing or acting or food or furniture or costume design or architecture or writing or accounting or teaching. I mean, it can be any kind of thing. So Ted Firth, when I first met him, I met him at Carnegie Hall. This was, I can't remember, 15 years ago, maybe now. It was my Carnegie Hall solo debut, and my normal pianist wasn't available, and I had to find a new pianist. And it was like, I can't believe I have to find a new pianist at my Carnegie Hall debut. This is so important. The pianist is your anchor, basically. And so a friend said, well, try this new guy, Ted Firth. And he was practically out of school at that point. He said, I don't want to try this new kid and everything. He said, just try him out, give an audition with him. And because I need a jazzer. I need somebody who plays jazz, somebody who also plays theatrical music and understands it. It's helpful because I arrange and orchestrate, but it's also helpful when they can also arrange and orchestrate, because first thing, it takes a lot of the load off me, but also I can communicate music in a different way to them. And so I got in a room with Ted, and he started playing the piano, and it was love at first note. I just felt whatever it was coming through his music, and we played, I can't even remember what song it was, but we immediately vibed, and I called him my second brain now. I played piano since I was 6, but I haven't continued to practice. I like to think that he's the pianist that I would be if I had continued to practice, but I think he's much better than that even. And he is the best accompanist I have ever worked with in my life, and that's why he's so popular now. And accompanying somebody is a different skill than just playing the piano, or just playing a jazz solo. It's a very different kind of thing where you're listening to the person, where to put the space in the music and the notes, and it's a give and take. And so it's always different. And he's an incredible jazzer. He's just a great human being. So I just love Ted Firth. I could talk about Ted for eons.
So I was going to say, besides, like you just said, besides being one of the most talented people, he's also one of the nicest gentlemen in the world. Okay, so what are some of the songs your fans can expect, or shows you may be singing from?
Well, here's what I think I'm doing now. See, here's the ugly truth of these kinds of situations that I'll let everybody watching today in on. This is, at least for me, I know it's true for a lot of other people. I still haven't really planned the show out. I've been doing this, I've been thinking on it for the last probably month or month and a half, but you don't really start bringing the whole thing together. It doesn't coalesce. It seems always until the very last minute. So over the last few days, I've been working on things. I'm working on some arrangements of my own of a particular song, but I don't want to say what it is because I want it to be a surprise. If I do it, and if I don't do it, nobody will know that he didn't do it. So, so it gives me an out. But I'm trying to, because I want the show to be new, but also to be familiar, because people come to hear me sing certain songs. And so I'm thinking what I very well might do, I'm calling it kind of a wild card show. I have some of the songs planned out, but then I think I'm going to say, what do you want to hear me sing? And just ask the audience and let people shout out songs that they want to hear me sing, and then write them down. And then throughout the show, I'll give them the songs that they want to hear, whether it's, you know, Impossible Dream or Wheels of a Dream or Stars or you know, something else, anything that they've heard me sing. I think I can sing just about everything. Hopefully the lyrics are not lodged in there too deeply, but that's what I'm thinking of. I don't know how much time there'll be for that, because I still have, you know, 4, 5, 6 of the songs that I want to do. And there's only really room for like 12 songs. The original title that I chose was Songs and Stories for this, because there's also so many things I want to talk about. I've got so many interesting stories. I've had, actually, when I think on it, quite an unusual, incredible life and very unusual stories to tell. And so I thought I want to do some of that as well. So who knows? So it's going to be kind of fun, because I think every show is going to be different depending on what people shout out. So it'll be kind of custom designed for that particular audience. So that's the concept, at least in my head now. And how much of that I'll be able to do, I don't know, but we'll find out. And that's the fun of these kinds of shows as well. I'm doing it from Monday to Saturday, from the 20th to the 25th. So it's also going to have an evolution and a kind of life of its own. And it won't be kind of the same show exactly in the beginning that it is in the end. You know, it'll keep refining, changing, evolving, and every show is going to be fun and different.
See, I love that, because you were, like you said, 54 Below is like performing in your living room. You're going to have all your friends and fans there, and people who might maybe experiencing you live for the first time because they've seen you do something else. But what I love about the Diamond series is, I mean, people are getting a specially put together 4-course dinner. They get a complimentary welcome drink. I mean, the cost of the meal is included in the ticket price and tax and gratuity. I mean, it's a whole evening. They can choose their own reservation time. It's not as crowded as it normally is. It's more like going to a living room, like, oh my God, we're going to have this glorious evening with beautiful, the short ribs are back on the menu again at 54 Below, just so you know. I've been back 3 times already, and I've had the short ribs every time I've gone. I'm not sure if they're on the menu for this, but I'm sure it is. But the Diamond series is just so different. It's like you're actually going to like your dining room, and then you're going to perform for these people. I just love the elegance, the extra elegance that they add to this Diamond series there at 54 Below. It's going to be really special.
That's beautifully put. Thank you.
Yeah.
And that's the way I feel about it. Like I said, sitting there as an audience, it really is a special place. Sometimes I actually do living room concerts for people. Occasionally I'll do like private concerts for people, and they have me sing in their living room, and it's very much the same kind of experience that would be, you know. And like I say, talking about singing in your living room, it really is, like you say, it's just small and intimate, and the food is good, and it's just a feel good place. So if you need some happy, good vibes, you know, and want to feel some joy and have some good food and just feel good, I hope people come to this night or one of the nights and share this time with me.
Oh, they're going to. Well, just for people for tickets, just go to 54below.com. I mean, you can get your tickets for any of the performances from June 20th through the 25th. But I want to talk to you. You have been the chairman of the board for the Entertainment Community Fund for years. How many years?
Only months now for the Entertainment
Community
Fund.
Well, I want to say,
yeah, you know what I'm going with that.
All right. Well, I want to say it was formerly known as the Actors Fund. I love the new title. Let's talk about how the title came about.
Yes, this was a long process, actually, and actually started probably in my 3rd year as chairman. And I've been there now 18 years as chairman, I think. And one of the challenges that all of us have always had with the Actors Fund, it has this incredible pedigree, this incredible history, and this name that has gone along with it. And it's always served anybody working in everybody who's working in entertainment, the performing arts. But every time I talk about the Actors Fund, I have to say, but it's not just for actors. And everybody has to always say, but it's not just for actors. And there's this kind of implied exclusion in the name is the bad part of the name, the Actors Fund, with all of the good parts of it. And there's many good parts. So about 15 years ago, it was first proposed to the board, and there were too many people that didn't want to give up that name and all that was invested in that name. But especially because of COVID and what we've all been through in the last 2 years, everybody from the entertainment and performing arts world came out of the woodwork to help us out, because we really did a lot of extraordinary work, thanks to Joe Benincasa, the incredible staff there, and their preparedness for this. We have an emergency assistance fund normally in a year. This goes for the most critical things people need to help keep their heat on, to help buy food, to help pay for their insurance, to help get medical care. The most critical things that they need. Generally in a year, we'll distribute about $2 million from that fund to about 1,500 people. Since COVID started, I think we're up to about $23 million to almost 18,000 people now. And that's going to continue because our industry is unlike others. We were one of the first ones to get hit and close down, shut down completely. And, again, when people go to see a show, you're not seeing 1 or 3 or 5 or 10 actors. You're seeing a crew backstage. You're seeing a whole support system of publicists, company managers, stage managers, musicians, if it's a musical, that are there. There are, again, hundreds and hundreds of people that when a show goes down are also unemployed. And Netflix came out, TikTok came out, the unions came out, everybody came forward to help us out so that we could help all of their people that were working with their organizations as well. And so for me, I think of the name change especially, and we looked at hundreds of names. We went through a very, very long period of discussion, and with companies, Carolyn Carter, who was on our board, led us through this whole branding process. That's what she does professionally. She was just brilliant. And we settled finally on this name that felt the most inclusive. And even though it's a little longer than I think a lot of us would prefer, it's still the best name of all the names that we had. And the response from the industry has been really overwhelmingly positive and great. And probably, like before, everybody's going to call it the fund anyway, yeah. For short, which is fine. But I'm really, really, really happy with it. And it's just been very exciting rolling out this new name. And I feel it's kind of a part of my legacy too. And now we can go forward with this new name into the next 140 plus years.
Well, no, because I love it, because you umbrella everything about the entertainment community with this fund. So it's perfect. And, I want to tell people who are watching, who work in the entertainment industry, or even if you don't and you want to donate, just go to their incredible site. I mean, it's entertainmentcommunity.org. I mean, not only is it just assistance, there are workshops, support groups, online resources. There are so many things that this entertainment community fund offers for so many people. The website is beautiful, Stokes. I want to tell you, I went there the other day. It's so easy to use. It's so helpful. And like I said, you've helped so many people. So anybody who's looking to donate or need some kind of assistance, go to the website. It's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, you've done such beautiful work. What incredible board you have on this also.
It's amazing. We just had our gala, the 140th gala, actually. And one of the things, because I always, talk at these galas, and one of the things that I wanted to talk about, I ended up not talking about it because it was kind of implied throughout the entire gala. But one of the things is I was kind of reflecting on, what should I talk about? It's a board of really good people. Unlike many board meetings that people have to attend, you go, I got to go to a board meeting tonight, I love being at our board meetings. First thing is there's almost no contention at all, no arguing. Because we're a human services organization, we're helping people. Everybody knows that's what we're here for. And Barbara Davis, our chief operating officer, and she's in charge of human services there. She gives a spectacular report at our annual meetings about to come up every year, talking about this is what we did over the last year. Because when you're in a boardroom, a lot of times it's a very abstract thing, because you're talking about numbers and you're looking at budgets and you're trying to make plans for the future and trying to figure things out and solve problems. And you can be a little bit distanced from the reason that the organization exists. So I love Barbara Davis and her talking about what we did, what we accomplished, because it's a place I can see everybody going. You know, this look of delight on everyone's face that there's so much that needs to be done, and it's again one of those reasons, you know, I think people feel like they're on the planet is to do this and to be on this board and help other people through the Entertainment Community Fund. It's just a great place, and again, great human beings. Joe Benincasa is an unusual human being that everybody loves. I've never met anybody that doesn't love him, and he's also brilliant and knows and loves this organization and knows what to do to move it forward and keep it helping people. And we're rated 4 stars on Charity Navigator, and our Actors Fund home, which is retaining the name Actors Fund, by the way, we're keeping that name for certain things, is got a huge rating also from U.S. News and World Report and the state of New Jersey. I mean, it's among the highest rated in the nation. And if you've ever been out there, never been out there, it's really beautiful. I've already picked out my room in the Actors Fund home. But it's run by Jordan Stroll out there. It's just, it's amazing. The whole organization works beautifully, and I'm so happy to be a part of all of these really good people doing really good things.
I love it. We're just about out of time. So my final question is, what are you looking forward to the most with your new run here at 54 Below for the Diamond Series with your show from June 20th through the 25th?
I'm looking forward to lighting people up. I'm looking forward to making people happy, because, you know, when you perform, there's an energy loop that happens. It's a synergistic thing that happens. It's not just one way. I'm getting energy from them. They're getting energy from me. The same thing is happening. It's going all over through the band. It goes through the wait staff. It goes to the people serving the drinks. There's this energetic thing that happens in the room. And that's that thing that I said levitates people, I think, you know, when you're in a show or you experience a show where everybody has that same end in mind. It's what I love most about show business. It's a group of people working together for a common goal. It's what's great about the Entertainment Community Fund. It's the same kind of thing. It's this collaborative effort of a bunch of people working toward a common good, a common goal, a common something. And I think it's a great example. I wish our government and a few other organizations would take a look at this and understand, you know, that that's really what people need and how beautifully that works when we actually commit ourselves to that. And I think that's one of those things that levitates people, is you realize the possibility of human beings and the possibility that is in human nature. And that's what I look forward to. I'm going to be levitated walking out of the theater as well.
You know, I will be too, just so you know, when I leave your show too. Like I said, I love what I took away from today was, you know, I think the same way. My glass is always half full. It's always been that way. And I've always said to myself, I'm here for a certain reason, to celebrate and try to bring joy to people and let people know what the entertainment business does.
And you do that. And I'm grateful to you for doing that. And you probably don't get to hear that enough from performers and other people that experience what you do. Thank you also for what you're doing, Richard. Like I said, this is a big collaboration. The world is a big collaboration, you know, and in our individual little corners of the world, like entertainment is a big collaboration. And we're all a part of it. And you have, for years, been a huge integral part of that as well. That's keeping everybody joyful and happy and informed, and, you know, and your own particular joy comes through everything that you do. And it helps people to understand, oh, I got to see that show. Oh, I want to be there. Oh, I want to be with this guy. I want to experience what he experiences. And so you've been a great supporter of Broadway as well, and the entertainment world. So thank you so much for that.
Well, thank you for that. But you all make magic. I just like to celebrate the magic that you all bring. So once again, Brian Stokes Mitchell is making his Diamond Series debut at Feinstein's 54 Below, which has just received a special Tony honor. He'll be there from June 20th through the 25th. For tickets, visit 54below.com. Stokes, I cannot wait to see you, my friend.
Me too, you, Richard. Thank you so much for having me. I wish health and blessings and happiness and joy to everybody watching here and your families. And let's move on now to the next step and get this all behind us. So
everybody, we'll see you soon.
Sounds good. See ya.